Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Galen Snyder Show. I'm Vince Reed, and we're brought to you by ARIA Health, your neighbors here in Bucks County. Of course, ARIA Health is there to help you when you need it. And we'll take a look, Coach, at how things have gone here. We played the 3 ball games, as just about everybody else did so far when it comes to the non-league part of the schedule. And you got to be happy with the way your team performed there to get through those 3 ball games and come out with all W's.
Yeah, no doubt. It was good to get a good start on the season. We started out 3-0. So it gives us some momentum going into the league, and I felt like we got some good work in there with the 3 games. Got to really, I think we're in a good shape as far as solidifying our lineups on both sides of the ball, and so we're in good shape going into the league.
I think you got to be happy too about the fact that when you consider the 3 games that you played against 3 different types of offenses that went against you. So you have an opportunity to see what maybe other teams, are going to be throwing at you during the course of the regular season in the league.
Oh yeah, definitely 3 different types of offenses. Frankfurt's a little bit more similar to Rock North, although Frankfurt was in the eye more than they had been in what we had seen the week before and during the scrimmages. Right. So they were kind of feeling their way offensively, quite frankly. But Rock North. Obviously, they ran a real nice version of the spread. The quarterback that they have, is a really good player. So that was good work for us.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, when you had Brandon McElwain, you had to go after there. You got a chance to find out what it's like to go against somebody who's quick enough, who can run, who can throw, and to keep you on your toes a little bit, because you probably aren't going to see anybody who's going to do it like he does it throughout the course of the season. But it was good to see how the team defensively was able to come around against somebody like that.
Yeah, well, that offense, that spread offense, it's funny because if the quarterback is a good thrower but not a runner, you can do certain things, and then if he's a good runner but not necessarily an accurate thrower, again, you can do some other things defensively. But when you have a kid who's of that caliber, he obviously creates some issues for you.
Yeah, we're talking about, of course, the games that have been played so far and what Pennsbury's been able to do. The Falcons coming into this game, which will be their 4th of the year, averaging 47 points per ball game, yielding a little more than 4 points an outing so far for them. So you got to feel good about those stats. Of course, they are just stats. You got to try to, go out there. Each and every game is going to be a little bit different, but it'll let you know that right now your defense and offense are both pretty well clicking.
Yeah, we like I said, we feel good all 3 phases. We feel like special teams is performing well. We had a punt return called back.
Yeah.
That talking to the official afterwards, he said probably might have been a mistake on the call, but we executed that pretty well. The kickoff's been, I think, a couple times kicked out of bounds, which we don't want to do. But the coverage, when we have kept it in bounds, has been very good.
Right.
The extra point field goal has been solid. The punt team's been solid. So between the special teams, the offense, and the defense, we're pleased. Okay,
we're going to take a look more at the opposition that's coming up. They'll be playing Souderton. Of course, they'll be away for this ball game as Pennsbury gets set for game number 4, the first one in the Suburban 1 League National Conference for this year. We'll have that for you coming up in a moment. We're brought to you by ARIA Health, your friends and neighbors here in Bucks County. We'll be back in just a moment.
The ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute is redefining care in Center City and South Jersey. And our 50,000 square foot location on ARIA Health's Bucks campus in Langhorne features private rooms, free parking, and nearby hotels. With over a century of experience, the world-class 3Bs, Doctors Booth, Bartolozzi, Balderston, and their partners personally guide you from treatment through recovery. For all your orthopedic needs, call 1-888-ORTHO-3B or visit aria3bortho.org. At the ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute, you come first.
If you are looking for a car, where do you go? Faulkner Auto Group at 4427 Street Road in Trevose is where to go for the best deals in Bucks County for all your new pre-owned cars, trucks, or SUVs. Go to Faulkner Auto Group. It's always Faulkner, to be sure. Go online to faulknerautogroup.com. Just remember, it's Faulkner, to be sure, for all your new cars or trucks. 4427 Street Road in Trevose. Faulkner, to be sure.
Hi, this is Congressman Mike Fitzpatrick, and I hope you're enjoying tonight's game. As we gear up for another campaign here in the 8th Congressional District, there are some things that always remain the same. and that's remembering where you came from. I'm proud to say that I was born and raised here in Lower Bucks and attended local schools. That's why I will never forget our community's needs and will continue to fight for programs like help for flood victims along the Neshaminy Creek, preserving historic land and open space, and bringing the National Veterans Cemetery to Bucks County. As your congressman for the 8th Congressional District, I can promise you one thing, that I will never forget my roots. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy tonight's game. Paid for by Fitzpatrick for
Back
Congress.
again with the Galen Snyder Show. And Galen, let's talk about this Souderton Ball Club so far. A couple of wins on the year for them. They defeated Plymouth White Marsh and the opening game. Some people thought that might have been an upset there, but it was a good ball game. They beat them by a 21-14 score. They went in and also grabbed a close win against Wissahickon. That a little bit was surprising to me. I expected them to maybe win that ball game by a little more than a touchdown in that ball game. But they're coming in, they're coming in looking good too, getting ready for this league ball game.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie Gallagher, the head coach, always does a nice job with that squad. He's got a team that it's got some younger guys, got a mixture of guys. Really, he has some two-way players on that squad, but they're wing T, just like we are, and so it's going to be familiar. Both teams are kind of familiar with one another's offense.
Yeah, it's one of those things that they say looking in the mirror, but the biggest thing is we know what you do, and we do the same thing. It's a matter of which one can figure the other one out, and you've been going against that because of the fact that you practice against that all the time.
Sure. So we both understand it. We both should be able to put up a reasonable defense against one another's offense, and then it comes down to execution and whose kids want to get the job done more.
They had three guys last year: Jamar White, Blake Galar, and Nate Landis, that combined came in with just over 1,000 yards for the three of them. But they had no one in the way that you had. Some of the runners that you had. Of course, you had Snorway, who had a huge year, but you had a couple other guys who also were right there nipping at the heels when it comes to either just over 1,000 or close to another 1,000. So it would look like your backfield is a little bit stronger than theirs coming into this game.
Well, our backfield's stronger probably than a lot of teams.
Yeah.
As far as what we had coming back,
Right.
Raheem and Charles. Of course, we expected that Breon, we don't, but those two coming back carried the ball a lot for us. So we feel pretty strong about that.
Now, I got a chance to talk to Victor Delgado after the ball game, this last ball game that you had, and I mentioned to him that he gets some of those carries that are kind of tough, that go up the middle a lot. But Victor's a guy who, that's why he plays defense for you too. He's a rough and tough ball player.
He sure is, and he he brings that element to the backfield, brings a physical player, but he's also a skilled player. He catches the ball very well out of the backfield. He's already shown that a little bit so far for us. He made a nice catch in the Rock North game where Mike Galen made a real nice toss, and Vic was covered, so it required a really precise throw and also an excellent catch, and we pulled that off. So Vic brings some things to the backfield that we, in addition to being able to run the ball.
Well, you see a couple of games that Mike Alley has played in now, and he's shown that he's got the presence enough to keep things alive and keep things for teams worried about the pass. He has himself 3 touchdowns in 2 ball games that he's played.
Well, and last game, against Frankfurt, he really in the first half, he really caused Frankfurt a lot of problems, or we caused a lot of problems with throwing the ball with Mike and the guys catching the ball. So much so in the Rock North game, we actually saw 2 high safeties for the first time in years. They played us pretty honest, really honest, and so that's what opened up all those running lanes for us. And, enabled Charles to have a huge day. I think we had like 21 first downs. We had a lot of yards rushing. We had
Something like 364 yards.
No, we had like 465 yards rushing alone.
Yeah, I know it was up there.
Yeah, so if we would have played the whole game, we might have had 500 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of that was the fact that they were sitting back and honoring the pass, and Mike was still able to complete a couple passes. But if he's going to make teams respect the pass game that much, that'll make things even that much easier for us to run the ball.
Yeah, I would think that's a big thing that you're probably looking at, is that you got a situation here where, you know we can do on the ground, and we always said if you could open it up any and keep them honest, that's going to make it a lot easier for you offensively to get the job done.
And it did in this game, they really did it. Now, what will happen from here on out, will teams say, we can't do that? We have to go back to putting some more guys up to stop the run. Well, then that's when, we have an opportunity with some of our receivers and with Mike, quarterback, to make them pay for that.
Yeah, you've been doing a real nice job, and you take a look here and see some of the guys here who have been out there, been able to catch passes, and you've got 5 different guys who have made receptions for you so far this year. That's got to help too, and the fact that no one can really say, well, this is the main target they're looking for. No, they got 5 guys who have all caught passes.
Yeah, I feel like we have 2 split ends between Tom Augustin and Cody DeBeek, and of course Vinny Radamus at tight end, and all the backs between Raheem and Victor and Charles, and also Dalton, he's in there at running back. They can all catch the ball.
I think really a lot of times it goes unnoticed, and maybe because you haven't really needed it so far, but I like what I've seen so far when it comes to the trio who's able to get the snap back and get the extra point ready to go. And you've got people there. You've got Austin, who's doing the job, right, snapping the long snapper, and Tom Augustin's doing a nice job holding, and Josh Leon's coming through for you, kicking those extra points.
Josh, real nice player, good kicker, and he hasn't had the chance to kick a field goal yet, but we've been building up the extra points, that's for sure, and Josh can kick those field goals.
And of course, Gary, of course, the guy who kicks off, we've seen him kick them long, but of course, when you want him to kind of, put it down around the maybe 35-yard line or so, he's been good at that over the years, too.
He usually does a real good job with it. He kicked it out of bounds a couple times, but, we've been kicking off so much that he made a couple mistakes, but he's usually pretty good with it. But that, that's another area that we have those two, and we have Drew Hartman also as a third kicker. We actually have pretty good depth at the punting and kicking as well.
All right, we're going to be back with more with Galen Snyder, and we'll be back right after this.
Landolfi's Deli in Yardley at 90 West Afton Avenue in the Yardleyville Square. This beautiful new eat-in deli and restaurant is open 7 days from 8 a.m., serving breakfast, eggs, omelet, breakfast sandwiches, even breakfast burritos. And of course, Landolfi's famous hoagies, specialty sandwiches, panini sandwiches, and fresh deli wraps. Landolfi's Deli at 90 West Afton Avenue open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call 215-321-4590. The Pennsbury Football Parents Club reminds you to come out and support the Falcons. They'll be selling Pennsbury football merchandise at every home game. And if you can't make it out to the game, remember you can listen to it live on 1490 AM WBCB or watch the Falcons video stream live every game at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and since 1986, McCaffrey Supermarket has been a real supermarket experience and a very proud member of our community. Through good times and bad times, Jim McCaffrey and his family have been there to assist our neighbors when they needed help, whether it's helping flood victims, raising funds for the American Cancer Society, or supporting the local Little League teams. You can count on McCaffrey's to be there. McCaffrey Supermarkets, 635 Heacock Road in Yardley in the village of Newtown, at 2890 South Eagle Road, and also in Princeton and West Windsor.
Oh, the corner kick's right to Chris. He's got a shot. Oh, no.
It happens fast, so we'll treat you fast. Introducing Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care, where you're seen without an appointment by a Rothman orthopedic specialist. Fast, any day of the week.
Okay. Easy with his leg.
Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care, now in Marlton, New Jersey, with more locations to come. It happens fast. We'll treat you fast. Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care. See RothmanInstitute.com.
And we're back once more with the Galen Snyder Show. I'm Vince Reed, brought to you by ARIA Health, your neighbors here in Lower Bucks County. We talked about the offensive part of the ball game, and let's talk a little bit about the defense. When you take a look at this team so far, and they've come through. They were put in a situation this last ball game where they had to be on their toes, with knowing that McElwain is a guy who can run and throw and has the speed and has the arm to get things done. But the D came in, I thought, really nice in this ball game. Knocked down a couple of his passes, was able to get a couple passes as well. So you got to be pretty happy the way that the D performed so far this year.
Yeah, we gave up obviously a couple scores we'd like to have back, but to their credit, they made plays. So there's some things we'd like to tighten up defensively, and we focused that. That was the focus this week in practice. But overall, we knew the type of game it was. We felt like, we were in a comfort zone offensively, and so, was going to try to make them work for their yards, and we were ahead in the game, and try not to give them big plays or quick strikes and those types of things to get them back into the game. So. Overall, like I said, they did a real nice job on their end of it, and we did a decent job on our end, but, there's room for improvement.
Yeah, when you look at this team, like you said, they're using the same offense you're going to be using. Joey Corrado is going to be in there. He's a youngster. He's a sophomore taking over for his brother, who was a quarterback for this team. What are you telling your defense here when it comes to him and the guys he's got running the ball for him?
Well, we're just getting ready for like the wing T aspects of their offense. They're a little bit different from us in that they'll kind of they'll play a lot of wing T, but then they'll get out of it occasionally. They'll go into a shotgun, they'll go into a double slot or a trips and things like that. And they'll do a little throw, and they'll still run some wing T plays. They'll run depending on the if they're still in two-back shotgun, they'll run a little belly lead, they'll run some Sally. But once they totally break free of it, and they're in the gun, they're kind of like a different offense, so to speak, in those types of situations. And they'll come out and do that. They'll go series to series. They'll run a lot of wing T, and then they'll jump out of it for a series.
Right.
So that's a little bit different than we are in that respect. But the quarterback's a young guy, but he seems to be pretty decent. He's accurate. We just told our guys, hey, we'll get ready for the wing T stuff, which we think is the tougher. To really get ready for it, and then we'll react to whatever else they throw.
You look at the defense here, and I know I had your son was on as one of them in our last game, and we're talking to him a little bit. I'm talking to him about, of course, the linebacking core that you've got there, and really when you look at it, you've got a nice line, you've got good linebackers, and you've got guys who played the secondary extremely well for you this year. Where in total would you say is your strength defensively?
Well, I just think our strength as an overall defense is our ability to run the ball and, defensive speed in general for all 11 players. We have a lot of guys who can cover up for mistakes, get to the ball. And, we were kidding about it the other day. There are a couple things about the D. The first thing is, 8 of them are juniors.
Yeah.
So we were young last year, people talking about us this year, but we got 8 underclassmen starting on defense for us. The other thing is 8 of them are former skill guys, running backs, receivers, quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So 8 of the guys on defense are skill guys. You really only have 3 guys who, when they switch over to the other side of the ball are lineman types.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of guys who can get to the ball.
And of course, one thing you've been able to do is rely on the speed factor, both in your offensive line and your defensive line.
Yeah, the defensive line's a little not as big as the offensive line. Offensive line's pretty big.
Yeah.
But the defensive line relies on their speed, and they're still strong kids. They're just maybe not the size of the O-linemen, and that's kind of how
It's usually
differentiated how it goes with offensive and defensive lines. But they run the ball well. They're aggressive, and
What's your feeling when you had a chance to see them at all, and as far as it goes, size-wise, that they have going against you? What about their line?
Yeah, they don't have the size on the offensive line that we do. We have a little more size probably all over the field.
Yeah.
The one receiver, I believe number 8, he's a good-looking athlete. He's got a little bit of size to him, even out. He's out at split end. He's a pretty good blocker. They actually reduce his split and they'll bring him inside on run plays and try to crack the linebackers. So he's a pretty good-looking kid. There's a few good-looking athletes over there, but size-wise, we probably got the edge.
Yeah, he's one of their captains. Marquine Graham, who you were mentioning, is one of the guys who's supposed to be a leader of this ball club.
Yeah, we really don't have a real big defense, from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Nick Paragano's probably 260 or so, 265. He's the one guy on defense
Right.
with some legitimate side. And other than that, we have a lot of guys who you would characterize as just okay sized to undersized.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, they've been playing extremely well, and as you've played the 3 ball games so far, anything in particular that you see that kind of surprised you about your ball club or about some of the players as you head into their 4th game of the year?
Not really, only because I've known a lot of these kids for so long, through middle school. Some of them I've known since elementary school, so, I've seen them play, I've seen them perform sports-wise in a variety of different sports, so. Not really, I liked how we're coming together, that's, I wouldn't say I didn't expect that, but, it's just good to see once it happens that they're coming together so far, on all 3 phases of the game.
I know I can recall being on the field at a practice, and this is maybe going back about 3 years ago when you were telling me, you said, Vince, wait till you see what we got coming up. These guys can really play. These guys are going to be tough. They're going to be good when they get their chance. And now you've got them out there, and they are showing what you had told me about is the fact that they're going to be good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, we're not, we don't have a bunch of, necessarily Division I football player type scholarship players, but what we have is a bunch of really good football players.
Solid. Yeah.
Yeah, they're guys who are, just football players, really,
Right.
and maybe not the greatest, running 4.40s and all those types of things.
Yeah.
But they're just solid football players.
And really, when you come down to it, if you can have those, that's better than having just 1 or 2 really outstanding players. To have solid guys who go in there and they're going to be good as they're supposed to be, not that they're going to be overall stars.
In football,
Yeah.
I think some other sports, you get a couple of great,
Sure.
basketball, you get a couple of elite
you only
guys.
need 5 guys on the floor.
Yeah, they can kind of control the game
Yeah.
for you, so you're kind of blessed if you get a couple of them. But football, you need a lot of good football players.
Yeah, you look at a couple of these teams, of course, in the past, and also now Josh Adams, who still is out there. You can have a great player, but you also have to have something around him.
Yeah, and they seem to have that this year. They seem to be doing
Yeah.
a pretty good job, CD South.
Yeah.
He is a great player.
Yeah, he is.
And he does seem to have some supporting cast this year.
Yeah, well, we're going to be talking about him when we finally get around to him, who's going to be headed to Notre Dame when he's done this year. We're going to be back with more with the Galen Snyder Show in just a moment.
Achieving what you want demands the right game plan. When you team up with PNC, you get the tools and know-how you need to get where you want to go. Whether it's buying a new home, sending your kids off to college, or retiring the way you want, PNC is here ready to help you achieve your financial goals. To discover all the ways PNC can help, stop by any branch or visit PNC.com. PNC for the achiever in you. PNC Bank, member FDIC. Princeton University football, affordable family fun for everyone at one of the nation's finest on-campus football stadiums. Get your 2014 tickets now as the Tigers defend their Ivy League championship. The Tigers set Ivy League records in both scoring offense and total defense in 2013. And 9 All-Ivy selections returned this season, including Quinn Epperly, the reigning Offensive Player of the Year, and named to this year's Walter Payton Award watch list, along with All-Ivy defensive standout Anthony Gaffney. Tickets are on sale now for all 5 home games starting Saturday, September 27th under the lights against Davidson. Ivy League foes Brown, Dartmouth, Penn, and Harvard visit Tiger Stadium in 2014. All single game tickets just $10, and season tickets for all 5 home games only $30. Group and youth tickets also available. For more ticket information, visit GoPrincetonTigers.com. That's GoPrincetonTigers.com. Princeton University football. Affordable family fun for everyone.
Experience the Volkswagen love by visiting Volkswagen of Langhorne, located at 1862 East Lincoln Highway, minutes away from Interstate 95. Family owned and operated for over 20 years, Volkswagen of Langhorne is located in the heart of Bucks County. As the leader in customer satisfaction in both sales and service departments, they provide the finest automotive experience to you, our neighbors. Visit Volkswagen of Langhorne today to see and drive the latest selection of new and certified pre-owned Volkswagens. Be sure to also take a test drive in some of the newest models available, such as the all-new GTI. Start experiencing Volkswagen of Langhorne today online at vwoflanghorne.com. That's vwoflanghorne.com.
Hi, Merrill Reese to tell you about our good friends at the Revere Ristorante Italiano in nearby Ewing Township at 802 River Road. I can tell you that from South Philadelphia to New York's Mulberry Street, there's no better Italian cuisine than that served at the Revere. Start your meal with one of their great appetizers or salads. Entrees include outstanding veal dishes, fresh seafood daily, excellent steaks and chops, homemade pasta dishes, daily specials, and much more. You can also enjoy their bar area, where on most weekends, entertainment is offered. The Revere also does off-premise catering and can accommodate private parties for any affair, including business functions. Call the Revere Ristorante Italiano for more information and reservations at 609-882-6365, 882-6365. The Revere Ristorante Italiano open Monday through Friday for lunch and 7 days for dinner at 802 River Road, right off the Wilbertha Road exit on Route 29 in nearby Ewing Township.
Well, Galen, as we came into this season, the entire talk, of course, for everybody before the first game was even kicked away on opening night, was the realignment here of the Suburban One League overall, the National, the Continental, and the American Conference. And of course, yours is the one that's the heavyweight of the division, having all those teams that are coming in, and the likes of, we mentioned already, CB South, Souderton, who's had those great years recently, North Penn, of course, Penn Ridge, yourself. And when you look at it, you see what's ahead of you. You know, the realignment for you guys is one that you've got to come up big every week in order to win a ball game.
Sure. And then we start it right now. You know, I don't think we've ever. I mean, I know since I've been associated with Pennsbury, we've never played Souderton.
Yeah.
And I can't remember when Pennsbury ever did play Souderton. You probably know better than me. Ever recall that?
Don't recall Souderton being
Ever, right?
No.
So this is probably our first meeting.
We did go to Souderton in basketball, I will say that, but I don't recall playing them in football.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever occurred. So this is the first. Obviously, we're in the league together now, so we're going to be facing them every year, and so it's going to be a different game for us. The league's real tough. Every game's going to be like a playoff game, and including this one, so should make for some good football.
And of course, it's going to make it interesting too, because of the fact that Pennsbury, as I said, only plays a total of 4 games at home this year, and of course they'll be going on the road quite a bit for them this season. They're playing only 4 at home. That means 6 away, so they'll have to make journeys to other places too. Besides that, the likes of North Penn and the Penn Ridges, and of course the big thing too is every time we go to Abington, it's always right down to the final play of the game, it seems, anymore over there. It's always a tough place to play as well. So some really exciting ball games. I think it all starts here with this ball game tonight. They're coming in 3-0 for this Pennsbury team, 2-1 as far as Souderton goes coming into this ball game. But forget the records. We're starting up the league, and of course, Coach, when it comes down to the league, there's another reason to point to you. Even though some of these teams are new, you've captured that league the last couple of years.
We have. We've won the national the last 2 years, and so you know, that's what we talk to the kids about. You know, we say let's make it a third year in a row winning the national. That would be quite an accomplishment. And I think that that would go back to maybe the early '70s since Pennsbury's won since we've won our league 3 years in a row. So that's one of our goals this year.
Well, sit back, relax, and enjoy this one tonight, because if you can't make it up to Souderton, you'll have a chance to watch it on the internet and listen to it as well on WBCB1490.com. So you can watch and listen to our ball game tonight from Souderton. But of course, if you can make it, you're going to want to be there. This is a nice facility. This is a school that's only been built a couple of years now. Got to be happy too with the fact they have a nice press box up there. We always enjoy that. And of course, we've got ourselves a good ball game. It should be a dandy as we open up the Suburban One League National Conference. And Coach, we're looking forward to it. Had some great games already, and we hope you'll be able to duplicate what you've been able to do with the non-conference ball games.
Oh, I appreciate it, Vince.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Of course, we're brought to you by ARIA Health, your friends and neighbors here in Bucks County. And don't forget, we're heading out to the ball field now, getting ready to go. Souderton will be the host. The Indians will be entertaining the Falcons of Pennsbury. For the Galen Snyder Show, I'm Vince Reed.